Good evening, teacher.
Good evening, sir. Welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks for being punctual. We're gonna start and we're gonna continue some minutes, the first part of the class. We're gonna work with some other, let's say, activities with WH words. And here we have some additional WH words, right, that are similar. We have who, whom, and whose. As you can see, in this case, the meaning is different. They look a little bit similar, but they are fairly different. So we have here who specifically, right? Who is he? But when we said whom is someone, is with that person or you and someone else. So here we can see con quién, right? Or a quién. That is different. That quién. For example, if I say, who is your sister? ¿Quién? Right? Es tu hermana. But if I say, whom is your sister? ¿A quién es tu hermana? ¿Con quién es tu hermana? Make no sense. So the point is that they look similar, but as you can see, they are not the same, or they are not similar in the meaning. So here we can add and whose is another similar expression, but in this case is when we're talking about a possession, right? De quién, whose in interrogative, and in affirmative it can be this, cuya casa está en San Salvador, cuya hermana trabaja, for example, right? So in this case, we have another similar but different meaning. And the form that we use is who's that red car, or whose car is that? That's the way that we use this one, the last, to ask about possession. The most common is whose and the possession, right? In this case, whose car is this or that. It depends. Remember, this or that. So that is the form, that is the question that we use. Whose car is this, or whose car is that? Whose computer is this? Whose computer is that? That's the order that we can follow. And remember, something very important is to think in English. So when you're gonna create this question with this WH word, you can think, okay, whose, because I want to know who's the owner. But about what? Well, the object, car. And at the end, the verb. Okay? So another question can be, whose report? Whose report is this? So if we think in English, we can say, okay, whose, the WH word, always at the beginning, and then the object, right? ¿De qué hablo? Car, report, cell phone, computer. So that's the way that we can think in English. Because is we think in Spanish and we try to make a translation, we're gonna make confused. We're gonna get confused. I mean, because make no sense, right? ¿De quién carro es este? So that's why we don't have to think in English. I mean, in Spanish. We have to think in English. And the way to think in English is the order. The WH word, the object, and the verb at the end. Okay, so whose motorcycle is this? Or whose car is this in front of my garage? Because maybe, right, it's in your parking space. So you can ask, whose car is this? You see? Or maybe on your desk, there is an object, a wallet, a cell phone. Okay, and when you start working on your desk, you're gonna say, and whose cell phone is this? It's on my desk. Okay, or whose bag or whose backpack is this that is on my chair? So that's the order. You know, it's simple if we think in English. If we don't try to translate and if we don't try to think in Spanish and then in English. We can do it in one go, okay? With the order, remember, the order. So let's see here. So those are additional WH words, right? Because yesterday we started with WH words and we were, let's say, using the most common. Yesterday, the most common. But now, okay, we have some other additional WH words. Okay, so I think they can be useful for you if you add more WH words. And here we have, you see, here we have many WH words. Yesterday we were talking about who, where, when, what, right? And I told you the difference between what and which, and we're gonna do a couple of exercises today to remember and to close the difference between what and which. Who's, whom, the ones that I mentioned a couple of minutes ago. And here we have some others combined with what kind, what time, okay? And some other combined with how many, how much, how long, how often, how far. And here you have a very fairly complete list of the different WH words. Here you have the meaning. Who, when we talk about a person. Where, when you want to know or you're gonna talk about a place. Why, if you give a reason. When, talking about time. And here you have examples. Okay, I'm gonna send this screenshot to the group. Okay, so give me a second. Okay, we're gonna work with some of them. Okay. I'm gonna share the other. Okay. Here you have the second. Okay. So, as you can see here, the combination make a different meaning. Because if we combine what kind is not anymore cuál, right? Maybe cuál o qué, but in this case, what kind or what time. The meaning, right, is no qué tiempo. We don't use anymore what, like qué or cuál tiempo. We said qué horas, a qué horas. So it's different when we combine. Sometimes when we combine some of these words like what or how remember that individually is como, right? Como. How are things? How are you? How do you do? Right? Como. But in this case, if we combine how with many, cuántos. With much, cuánto. How long? ¿Cuánto tiempo? I mean, ¿qué tan largo, okay? ¿Qué tanta duración? Yeah, it's cuánto tiempo, right? It's similar. ¿Con qué frecuencia? How often? ¿Qué tan lejos? How far? So we don't use anymore the meaning, the individual meaning, like how, como. Okay? So that's what we have. I wanted to complete, let's say, this topic, giving you more examples, okay, of W's words. And in this case, maybe not the most basic, not the most common.
Coach, one question, please.
Yes?
When I want to say whose name in Spanish is mean cuyo nombre.
Yeah, it depends, right? I don't know if you were already in class when I mentioned that we have two meanings. One when it is a question, and one when it is an affirmative.
Yes. For example, I want you to use in sentences, or for example, in a conversation, I could say whose name, whose talent. For example, I could say this way.
Could I? Because it's a question. Could I? Could I say so? You can say that. Could I? Because it's question. Okay. Yes, for example, right? It is possible. Those are some examples that we can use.
O sea, puedo decir cuyo nombre, cuyo talento, así en una conversación.
Yes, of course, like you are the way, like you are saying in Spanish, right? And you are saying in English, it's the same because this is the meaning. Look, this is one of the meaning.
I use in I don't remember. En preguntas, en answer, en question and answer.
In question and in affirmative. In questions in affirmative sentences.
Okay.
Actually, all of them are, well, not all of them, but most of them can be used in questions and in affirmative sentences. For example, if you say, that man, the man who I told you, this is the man who I told you. That is not a question. And I'm using to connect. I'm using in the middle of the two ideas that are connected. And I'm using in affirmative, not necessarily in a question. So this is the man who I told you. Or let me know when you arrive home, for example, right? I use when. Let me know when you arrive home.
No, yes.
I know where you live. I know asking, I'm telling you, I know where you live. And it's not a question. So basically, most of them can be used in questions and in affirmative sentences.
Coach, sorry, I can't see you.
Oh, really? Okay, let me check here. But can you listen to me?
Yes, yes. I
Okay,
hear you.
okay. That's the most important.
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna check it here. What's going on? Okay, so in this case, right, we are, right, with different situations, right? So remember that in this case, we're gonna have a combination, and that's what I mentioned to your classmate, okay, that we can use this in affirmative and in negatives. I mean, in affirmative and in questions, interrogatives, just most of them, except, for example, why. That you know that why, we have why for a reason, right, is in the question, but in the answer we have a different. We don't use in an question, in an affirmative, when. We need to use because. Okay, you see, that's what we need to use. Okay, well, that's it. That's it. So I don't know if you have clear that we can combine, okay, that we can combine that those W words. In this case, we are working with questions, right? Because we are adding, that's the topic, to add the questions, okay, to add the questions to the formula of an interrogative sentence, right? But as an additional information, you know that in this case, we can combine with affirmative, okay? But we're gonna focus on interrogative because that's the topic. But I just wanted to mention that the same can be used in affirmative to join ideas, okay? Well, that's what we have. So I'm gonna share some links. Here. Well, here I have another for you. That is the meaning, right? And more examples. Those are the ones that we were working together. Who, when, what, the most basic. You can use them, of course, with affirmative, with verb to be, or with do, does, of course, did, past, future, any is possible, and in any tense. Okay, well, here we have more. Who, where, when, why, what, and which, how. I'm gonna share this again. Well, no again. I'm gonna share one more. Let me put it. So maybe you can study later. Okay. So we're gonna do these exercises. Okay, we're gonna do these exercises. We're gonna start together, and then you're gonna do it individually to work with the difference between Okay, here we have the difference. We talked about the difference yesterday, about what and which, and I told you we're gonna do an exercise, so a couple of exercises tomorrow. Okay, so here we have, let's do together this first. According to the simple explanation, yesterday's simple explanation, tell me, what is the one that we have to use? What or which in each sentence?
What?
Okay.
Number one is what?
What, coach?
Number two?
Number two is what? What picture did Henry paint?
Number
Which?
three? Okay, you think it's which, and someone says it's what? Okay, but the first, okay, who told me? Okay, the first who told me. I'm gonna go for the option and then we're gonna check it, okay? Okay, number three.
Number three is which? Which language does Mr. Miller teach? French or Italian?
Okay, number four.
Number four.
What?
Okay. Number five.
Which?
Which subject?
Number six.
What cars are fast?
What car?
Okay. Number seven.
What?
What time? What time do you usually?
You usually get up?
And number eight.
Eight.
Mira,
Eight.
solo 7.
I don't see eight.
Seven. Only 7 sentences.
Yes.
But I supposed to be showing there. I don't know why you're not seeing, because it's the same. Well, I'm gonna stop sharing and I'm gonna do it again, but I don't know why. Okay, let's see. Well, I'm doing the same. I don't know if you can see. No?
Now, I see. I see, teacher. Thanks.
Okay.
Yes.
I don't know what happened because I was
Is
down.
white.
Which juice do you prefer? Orange juice or apple juice?
Which?
Okay, someone says which. And number 9.
What page?
What?
Number 10.
Which subject?
Okay. Well, let's check, and we have a couple of mistakes here, but you're gonna see,
Okay.
and maybe you can tell me why is incorrect. Okay, so here you have number 1. What color is your pencil, right? So number 1 is correct, no problem. But what about number 2? Someone says which, right? But the first person said what? So I said, well, the first person that who answered. So remember, here we have options. The left, yes, the left one and the right one. So it's supposed to be which, because we have an option. Which language? Correct. What hobby is good? Which subject? No problem. And here, what car is faster? You have 2 options, clearly.
2 options.
Well, it's not necessary that there are 2, by the way, right? In this case, I'm saying 2 options, but it's not necessary. Let me tell you that I don't want confuse you because I mentioned two because here we have, in this example, we have two, but they are not necessarily just two, but a specific option or a limited option, okay? And then we have what time, that always, this is the combination, right? What with time, no which time. Well, if you have options, maybe. Which use, no problem. What page, because it's in general. A book has a lot of pages. And the last one with subjects, do not like. Because in this case can be mathematics, can be history, science, chemistry, art, biology. Oh, a lot of, right? Administration, a lot of subjects. Okay, so you see how easy it is to use which and what, right? It's very easy to use it. Just be careful about, I'm gonna give you one link.
Miss, I'm sorry.
Yes, sir.
Can you practice in the other link? Can
you what? Excuse me?
Can we practice in the link?
Can I? You mean if you can practice?
Yeah.
Okay, if you mean if I can, if do you want me to send the link?
Yeah.
So, okay, so in that case is, can I practice individually? No, can you?
Okay, can I?
Can I, yes. Can I practice individually? Can you send the link? Okay, that's the question. Can you?
Can I, and the link and the sentences. It's correct, the pronunciation.
Can you send the link? Can you send the link in WhatsApp, teacher, please?
Oh, sure. Yeah. So, yes, I'm going to do it because Mr. Ramirez is asking me, right? It's what just we are trying to make the sentences, right, Mr. Ramirez? So, can you do it again, please, Mr. Ramirez? The questions, I'm going to send it, of course, for you, well, for everybody. But try to formulate the question in English, Mr. Ramirez, please.
O sea, lo que quiero preguntar es si puedo entrar para practicar en esos links.
Yeah, mister, I know. That's what I'm telling you, how to say it in English.
Okay.
Yeah, what I want is that you say that in English because you can say that in English. Okay? And I'm going to help you. If you can't, I'm going to help you. But I want that you speak in English because that is not complicated. I mean, that question. So let's
you
go.
You can do it, Mr. Ramirez. You can do it.
Ask me. So remember, everybody, because Giancarlo was using the same, right? It's a question and you don't use the auxiliary first. If we have can, could, it goes before the person. So can I, can you, could you, could I, right? So don't forget that. So in that case, I'm sending the link, Mr. Ramirez. Yes, just let me look for it again. While you tell me the question, I'm gonna send the link. So what is the question, Mr. Ramirez, please?
Repeat, please. No, I know it's complete.
Just tell me the question in English, Mr. Ramirez. How do you say it? As I told you, right? ¿Puedo practicar? ¿Me puede mandar el link? How can I say that in English? Tell me in English.
Okay. Can you say, can you send me a link, please?
Okay, could you send me the link? Or could you, in general, could you send the link? Or can, right? Remember that could is more polite than can, but it's the same. So can you send the link? Or can you send me the link? Okay.
Can you send So the
The
link,
link,
okay.
the link, yes, correct.
Thanks.
Okay, so
Thanks.
don't forget it. Don't forget it. First the can, right? And then or could, and then the person. You or I. Be clear with that. Okay,
Okay.
there you have the link, Mr. Ramirez.
Thanks.
Thanks to you for trying to speak in English. Okay, now I'm gonna send you one more, so you're gonna do it individually. Okay, let me share another link for you to do it individually. It's easy too, right? It's a piece of cake too. If it is possible, please send it to the group, the final result, so I can see. Okay, here you have the order that is new, let's say.
Oh, thank you, teacher.
Okay,
It's excellent to practice
yeah, in
before
this
I'm going.
moment. Yeah, please do it. In this moment, please. The second. The first, you can do it again later, Mr. Ramirez, okay? Tomorrow or later, but in this moment, can you do the second link? I mean, can you all, right? Please, you all do the second individually. Send me the screenshot of the result so I can know if it is clear. I'm gonna give you maybe 5 minutes or less to do it. And I'm gonna send you the third, after you finish, I'm gonna send one more link that there you have a video that is the explanation, right? That's similar what I said. And another practice, but later on. Let's do this first. Please send me, don't forget to send to the group, send the screenshot of your final result to check it, please. I want to know the result. Okay, finished. Send me the screenshot, please. I don't have any. Still in process?
Yeah,
Okay.
excellent exercise. Is the link.
Yeah, it's a good one, right? And it's easy. And because the sentences are very clear to establish the difference. Okay, this is a good one, right? The first, that is incorrect. I mean, the first of the first person. I don't know who is, but what ham did you burn? Why do you think that is incorrect? Why it is which? Let's find it out together. Why do you think that is not what hand, but is which hand? Mm-hmm.
Coach, because we have two hands.
Yes, because we have just two hands, correct? We have a specific, right? A limited. In that case, I like that exercise because in that case, it's not, we start with obvious exercise, right? Exercises in which we have, it says French or Italian. We have clearly the options, but in this case, it's not necessary to mention the options, but it is implicit. So that's what I want you to notice, okay? That not always is because we have this or that specifically. No, sometimes it's implicit. It's not necessarily that clear. So in that case, because we have a limited option, right? We have, in an indirect way, we have a limited option, just two hands, correct? Let me see the next. Okay, I think they are okay. Well, we have one incorrect answers, but I can see which are they. So I would like to know so I can help maybe. Okay, but there you have one of your classmates sent the whole screenshot, right? And we can see together why. Okay, but anyway, I don't know what was the incorrect for some of you, but they are good scores. So I guess that is fairly clear. Okay, so I'm gonna send you, thanks for your screenshots. I'm gonna send you another link, but for you to see it later. It contains a video, more exercises of which and what, and it contains a video. So you can keep there the explanation in case, right? In case that you want to remember something. I'm gonna tell you to watch and do later, or maybe tomorrow. Okay, that I got for you that one. There you will have the video in case that you want to watch the video, and you will have to another exercise in case that you want to practice a little bit more. Okay, so that's what I have, and as an extra practice for you with which and what, and extra information, right? There you have a couple of links more. Okay, so now let's continue. I'm gonna give you another link, but in this case we have combination, not just what and which. We have who, whose, whom, the one that I explained at the beginning of the class. And let me see what else. Which, whom, whose, and that. Okay, try to solve this exercise. This is not anymore with what and which. Okay, there we have, well, here we have one of Mr. Ramirez. What pictures did Henry paint? Is incorrect because in this case we have a specific option, right? Not like the previous that was implicit, but in this case it's a specific. Henry paint, did Henry paint the left one or the right one? Two options, left or right. The left picture or the right picture. By the way, do you understand the use of one here?
So, miss.
Excuse me, so.
So.
Okay, so just let me share. I'm gonna explain. Okay, before you go to do the next exercise, that is general, right? Not just which and what. Let me mention this. I like to stop in things that if you don't know, and I think they are easy, to manage, well, let's make a parenthesis. We don't have to focus just on the topics, right? If we can learn a little bit more, well, let's do it. Let's learn a little bit more. So in this case, we have here this. You can see here that we have the left one or the right one. This is easy. We use one as a pronoun, because you want to substitute, you don't want to repeat the previous. In this case, the previous is paint. So it's because you are making that substitution. You don't want to say, which is the correct, right? Which picture did Henry paint? The left picture, paint, or the right paint. So to avoid repetition, we use one, the left one or the right one. To avoid the repetition, in this case of paint, the left one instead of paint, or the right one instead of paint. Okay, so that's the idea with one. It's easy. Another example can be if I ask you, combined with W's word, by the way. Do you like this? Let's say this blouse? do you like this blouse? And I didn't catch which, so I said, which one? Which one? Because I don't want to repeat which blouse. So I'm gonna say which one? And you can answer this one. So we can avoid the repetition. We mentioned just one time blouse, but I want to continue repeating blouse, blouse. So we can make that substitution and sounds more natural, sounds better. You know, it's very used in that way. So remember, do you like that blouse? Which one? Ah, and I get closer. This one. You see? Or another example. That's your, let's say, that's your present. That's your gift. That's your present. I'm gonna say, which one? Which one? Instead of saying, which is my present? Which one? This one. Yes, that one. So you see, in the one question, we can continue using with different combination, which one, this one, that word. And in plural, ones is possible when you have plural, right? For example, do you like these blouses? Which ones? These ones. Oh, yes. Like them. Okay. So that it was a parenthesis just of the use of one or ones combined with a W word because it's very used and it's not complicated. Okay, clear, Mr. Ramirez? Better now? Got it?
So.
Okay. So yes.
The reason is the explication, the example, excellent. But no understand everybody expression. Some expression.
Okay, but don't try to translate, Mr. Ramirez. Don't try to translate. Just think, I don't want to repeat a word. I'm gonna make that substitution. Don't try to translate. Maybe it's because you are trying to translate. Because if you are trying to do a translation, maybe you won't find something that makes sense. Because that is proper of English. You know, yeah. I think that it doesn't exist. I mean, it doesn't come to my mind in this moment an equivalent expression. So
that is my problem right now.
That you see?
Okay, yeah.
I guess. So tries not to translate it, Mr. Ramirez. Okay. Just think that you don't want to repeat one word. You can make the substitution by one.
Okay.
Do you like this cell phone? Do you like this cell phone? And you're gonna tell me which one, because you didn't see, right? Let's say that you are me and you are like this. When I show you the cell phone, you are not seeing. Okay, so I tell you, do you like this cell phone? So you're gonna turn your head and you're gonna tell me which one, because you don't want to repeat which cell phone. It's just that you don't want to repeat the word, Mr. Ramirez. So you are gonna replace any word by one. This cell phone, which one? This red pen, which one? This eraser, which one? This computer, which one? Everything is which one? Everything is one. Because you don't want to repeat one noun. That's what we are doing. Okay? Don't translate. Don't think in Spanish. Okay? Don't try to find an equivalent translation because sometimes it works, but sometimes we don't have something really equivalent, and we have just to understand in the language because we know all the expressions have a equivalence in the other language. Not all of them, maybe most of them, but not all of them. So try to think in English. Okay?
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so now guys, if anybody else have any question, I think that if you have doubts with one, not just Mr. Ramirez, right? If you have any doubt with one or ones, now it's clearer. Or if you have any question, let me know. Okay, if you don't have any question, let's do that exercise. But in this case, as you will see, we have the combination of other W words, not just which and what. And I think that with this exercise, we'll be closing that topic. Let me check. Yes, I think that's the last. And you can work there and you can see some other examples, right? Using those W words, the way that we can use them. If you have any question, let me know when you finish.
Miss, I'm sorry. I can't begin in the question, the answer.
You can, excuse me, you can what? Excuse me?
I cannot begin the question, the answer.
You don't find.
Yeah.
The first is done. Okay, the first is, but let me show you the screen. Let me show you. I'm gonna show you, no problem.
The exercise, I know.
Yeah, I guess. I guess what do you think that is your problem? But look, the first is done for you, so you can go down and you can see the first there. Option 1 and option 2. I found a wallet. Which or whose was full of money? What is your option, mister?
I'm sorry, in the link.
Ah, the link.
Sure.
You
The
can
link.
find.
Sí.
You can find. I think it's in WhatsApp. Let me check. Yes, it is, mister. But I'm gonna send it again. I don't know why. You can see it in the group, or you can open it.
In the group, in the link, I cannot begin the exercise.
Why, Mr. Ramirez? Why can you begin the exercise? Why? I send it again, but I think that's not your problem.
In the link, I can, I see a sample, but
Okay, that's what I was showing you, mister. That's what I was showing you. Look again. Yeah, that's what I understood at the beginning. So that's what I showed you. You have an example here, but I said, go down. And here you start the exercise. You see? Are you watching my screen?
in the screen, I see, but in the link, the cell phone.
Ah, okay, maybe your internet.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe your internet. Because that's what it appears after the example. You see, here is the exercise, and I open it from the same link that I send you to the group. So it's the same link that I'm using. So I found a wallet, which, let's say that my option is which. I said here, right, prove it. So we have next, you see, and it says here, siguiente, and I prove it next. That's the way. But I understand. Well, if you don't have it, maybe it's because of your internet. Go down, and if it doesn't appear, it's because I guess your internet.
Okay.
Okay, nobody has finished. Okay, I'm gonna wait a couple of minutes to see the way that you do it, or in case that you have any question, right? Any doubt. Maybe we can solve it together. I mean, the doubt. By the way, there you have that. Remember that yesterday we said that that is the same. We can use it instead of who, right? Or instead of what. No problem. You can, if you are talking about a person, you can use that. Or who. If you're talking about a thing, you can use what or that. Okay? Okay, finish. Yes, I don't know why you didn't send it, but I think it's time, right? Because I did it 3 times. I'm taking the time to do it, and I did it 3 times already. So I guess that you already finished. Okay, so let's continue because I guess that you already finished. No doubts? Okay, well, I have one. Okay, good. We have 6 of 7. That's good, right? That's fairly good. Okay, thanks. Thanks for sending the result. And finally, we won't do this whole exercise. I just want you to see the way, as I explained, right? As I explained, that we can see. Let me check one more. Okay, 5 of 7. I don't know if I can help you. If you have any doubt, because you have 5 of 7, right? Any question? Any doubt? I don't know who sent it, but if you tell me, yes, I have this doubt because you have 5 of 7. Or maybe in the explanation that you have there, you will understand, right? Let me see, 6 of 7. Okay. Good results. Then we have 6 of 7, 6 of 7. Okay. No questions about that exercise? No. Okay, well, let's continue. In this case, we have the other W word that we were talking about at the beginning of the class, whose. So I told you, this don't think in English, don't think in Spanish neither. Don't think in Spanish. In this case, you see, this is other expression in which we don't have to use in Spanish because it will be a little bit difficult, right, to make that translation that from, in this case, we have, but the order is different. ¿De quién pelota es esta? Make no sense, right, in Spanish. And if you want to bring it from Spanish to English or from English to Spanish, in that road, sometimes we get confused and we can't formulate because it's different. So again, think in English. As I said at the beginning, just think, okay, I'm doing a question about who's the owner, right? Who's, de quién. Then the object, the ball. Whose ball is this? And this is a repetition. Look, the next. Whose presents are these? Whose presents are these? Again, we have the W word that we need, that in this case is to talk about the owner, right? De quién. The presents is the object de lo que estoy preguntando, and the verb. And this is a complement, right? Whose presents are these? Whose dog is this? Again, the W word and the object. ¿Qué es lo que estoy ¿De qué estoy hablando? ¿De qué estoy buscándole el dueño? In second place, right? Whose dog is this? Whose umbrella is this? Whose skateboard is this? You see, all the questions are repetition. Whose cave is this? Whose birthday is it? Whose birthday is it? Think in English and you won't get confused. Think in the order. Whose birthday is it? Whose books are these? Whose balloons is this? A balloon, excuse me, singular. Whose balloon is this? As you can see, this whose is singular or plural. Like who? Like whom? Singular or plural. Whose ship is this? Whose notebook is this? Whose ball is this? Whose cake is this? You see, it's a repetition. We just have here in the middle of the W's word and in the middle of the W's word, between the W's word and the verb, the object. ¿Qué es lo que quiero saber de quién es? Think in English. And here we have the answers that we have to think in English too. Okay? The children's, it's Lucy's, it's my cousin's, it's Harry's. So again, do you remember this structure? Saxon genitive, the children's, Lucy's, my cousin's, Henry's. Remember that that's another way to say that belongs to. De los niños, de Lucy, de mis sobrinos, de mis primos, I mean. De Harry. So again, think in English. Just think about the owner. Who's the owner? Lucy, apostrophe S. Lucy, Lucy's. My cousins. Because it's plural, you just add at the end the apostrophe, but the pronunciation is the same, right? If you have one cousin, my cousin, my cousins. If you have two cousins, 3, 4, my cousins. So the pronunciation is the same. But this is the point. Who's the owner? Think in the owner. And apostrophe S. It's Lucy's dog. Don't think in English again. Because it will be maybe a mess. Maybe, right? El perro de Lucy. Viene de atrás hacia adelante.
Coach,
La sombrilla de mis primos. Viene de
teacher.
atrás. Yeah, just let me finish the idea, please. Give me a second. The umbrella of my cousins, okay? La sombrilla de mis. So you see, de atrás hacia adelante. Y el último is Harry's skateboard. Okay, la patineta de Harry. De atrás hacia adelante. All of them, right? De atrás hacia adelante. But so don't think in English. I mean in Spanish. Just think in the owner. Who's the owner? Lucy. ¿De qué? Al final. Lucy's dog. My cousin's umbrella and Harry's skateboard. That's the way to do it in English. Think in English, not in Spanish. And that's it. Okay, now the questions.
Teacher.
Yes, sir.
So, I mean, every sentences when I read, it say the sentences and in this we always can say X because it is in singular.
You mean the last one? This is this. This is that.
Yes.
Yes. In that
we-
case,
we-
it's a, yes, it's a complement.
we can answer with X, the pronoun X, when sentences end in this, or for example, or in this, is sentences ends in this, we should the pronoun they, but the sentences end in this singular, we should use pronoun is, right?
It.
Or
Pronoun it. I guess. Okay. Let me see if I got the question. Okay. Let me see if I understood. Okay. If I catch you. Okay. I guess that you are asking if you can replace this by it. Is that the
yes,
question?
no,
Is that the question?
yes, coach.
Okay. Yes, you can. Of course. Whose dog is it? You can say this or you can say is it. And you can replace this by their, they, because it's for people, animal, and things.
Yes. Okay. I see. By the way, I see this way for easy for me for understand the model.
Structure, the structure.
Yes, the instruction,
And the
yes.
order. Yes, structure
Yes.
and order. Yes. It's easy,
But
right?
yes, how you say we don't think in Spanish because whose is some confused
Yes, it is.
when I wanna translate
Yes.
to English, yes.
Into English, yes, into English or into Spanish, we
Yes,
get confused.
like confused is when before you explain I was confused, but I continues I hear you and how do you say por fin?
At the end.
At the end,
I
how
got
do
it.
you say?
I catch it.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah, I got it.
I got it. I catch it, right? I catch it. Okay,
catch it.
excellent. Good.
Answer.
Excellent. Good for you.
Miss, I'm sorry.
Yes, sir.
The example anterior, the 2-4 is correct. En el example, the are in the end sentence was dog is correct the form too.
What I have here is it. This one.
Yes.
Yes, that's another option. That's another option.
Okay. Thanks.
The difference is that when we use this, remember that it means that it is close, right? It is close. This, whose dog is this? Or you can say whose dog is that, because it's not close. So different ways to say the same. So this because I'm touching or the dog is close. Or we could use another option is that. Whose dog is that? But it's because I'm not touching the dog or it's not close. Remember the use of this and that. And for both, neutral, it doesn't matter if it is close or far, we can use the pronoun it. Whose dog is it?
Okay, thanks.
But most of the time we use this and that. Those and these, singular and plural. Okay. Well, that's what we have finally with this topic. Okay, well, I wanted to add some other W questions because I think yesterday's were the most basic and it was easy, I know. This is easy too, but maybe we need to think in English, right? To understand. So remember the order. Sometimes we can have a specific translation and it's good, because we have an idea. a clear idea. So sometimes yes, sometimes no, but you have not always do this. Okay, when it's convenient, you can have an equivalence. So you can have, yes, it's true. It happens in Spanish. Because sometimes we get confused because we don't even realize that those structures or those kind of things, we use them too in Spanish or in other languages. And so, and we make a mess in our mind and say, but what's this? What's that? I don't understand. And sometimes that's why it's good to make that equivalence. Es igual que diga en español esto. Yeah, I got it. Porque a veces uno solito se complica la mente y la vida, right? But when you have an equivalence, you say, yes, pero sirve para aclarar. Pero cuando no tiene equivalencias directas y está en otro orden, es mejor no hacerlo. Because we get confused. Además, en ir de atrás para adelante, de adelante para atrás, la persona se queda y queriendo, right, ordenar mentalmente. So that's not, sometimes it's not possible, right? And so that's not good. So that's why you have to select, be selective. Okay, I won't say never get an equivalence in Spanish, because sometimes it's good, you know. Sometimes it works, sometimes, but not always. And sometimes we need to think in English. Most of the time, it's good to think in English, like the questions. Think in English. First, the auxiliary. ¿Qué necesito para que se me haga pregunta? Esto. Con eso inicio. Then the person. Then the verb. Follow the order in English. The concept. Okay, that's another situation in which it's good to think in English. Follow the structure, follow the order. Don't think in Spanish. Porque si usted quiere encontrarle la traducción al do, al das, al did, ¿y dónde está? ¿Qué se hizo? It doesn't appear, right? It doesn't appear because it's just an indicator. It doesn't have a specific meaning. Okay? Y cambia el orden. Y si cambia el orden es donde quiero ir y le pongo donde no es. So that's another structure that I recommend you to use directly. Think in English, think in the order, think in the elements. Okay, and you will do it. Okay, so let's continue. If you don't have more questions, we're gonna do this speaking activity. Okay, so you're gonna interview your classmates. Okay, play video games tonight. Who, you can say who or but first I got another with W words. Some questions that you can do. Yeah, the other, we're gonna do the other first. Yeah, I'm looking here the order, and this one should be first. Give me a second to share it. Okay, and now it's time to speak. So I'm gonna show you some W word common, very common W word questions. And you're gonna practice with your classmates, get the answers. Please get the answers. And okay, there you have the answers. Let me explain you. I mean, the questions. So the idea is to do a speaking, right? So in this speaking, you have to ask those questions, and you're gonna tell me the information that you remember about your classmates. We're gonna practice third person. So you can say, what's your name? Or what's your last name? Maybe, right? How old are you? Okay. Who is your mother? Maybe, or what's your mother's name? You can change. This is just a base, but you can change. What's your mother's name? How old is your sister or your brother? What's your favorite color? What's your lucky number? Okay. And well, what's your favorite animal? Those are some of these, you can use them directly. And some of them you can change a little bit, right? The idea is to have a base. That's what I'm giving you, these personal questions, so you can have an idea, a base, right? And you can change a little bit, some of them. Okay, so you can say, where is, do you know where is Amapulapa? I don't know. This is just for you to have an idea. And what's your favorite? Well, in this case, room, right? So you can take some of them, most of them, to ask questions to your classmates. Okay, using W's words. And you can add some other, of course. When is your birthday? Using W's words. When is your birthday? Where do you live? Where do you like to go on vacations? Okay, there you have a base. You can use exactly like they are there, change a little bit, and add your own questions using W's words. That's the idea, using W's words. Okay, so let's go to interview your classmates. I'm gonna give you, I think, 3 minutes, and we're gonna change of breakout room so you can interview some other classmates. Okay, so I'm gonna give you just 3 minutes. So try to do it fast, okay? Because I'm gonna give you less time in this case, because you're gonna visit 2 different breakout rooms. Okay, and try to remember, or if you can, or if you want to take notes, but not dictation, right? Okay, how old are you? I am 14 years old. No, it's not to take notes like that. Okay, say that again, please. It's not dictation. You can take notes, ideas, but the idea is to speak. Okay, so please, because you're gonna share when we come back from the breakout rooms, you're gonna share the information about your classmates, not about you, about your classmates, what you remember. Okay, so here we go, 3 or 4 minutes, 3 minutes, because I'm gonna change you from breakout room.
Teacher,
Yes?
check me the attendance list today, please.
Excuse me?
Check me attendance list, please.
That I change you?
No, attendance.
Yeah,
and
what
the
happened with
list,
the attendance?
today, teacher.
Yes, what happened, sir?
You can check me.
Yeah, you're ready.
Okay, thank you.
You're ready. Okay, here we go with different people, I guess, I hope. Here we go with different people, okay? So 3 more minutes. I hope that you remember the information that you got, okay? Because you're gonna share it in third person when we come back. Okay, now as the final practice, you have the opportunity to listen different people, right? I guess. And I think that you have, well, let's wait for your classmates. They're still in the breakout rooms. They
Hello,
have,
Mr. Ramirez.
Hello, how are you, Mr. Peruso?
Okay, start with the interview. Please, what's your name?
My name is Andrés Armando Ramírez Gutiérrez.
Okay. How old are you?
Oh, 55, 55 years old.
too much information, Mr.
55
Ramirez.
is
Too much information.
it's a boy. It's a boy.
Yeah, thank you, thank you, thank you. Lady boy the past time.
What do you do for a living?
I'm sorry.
What do you do for a living? Where do you work?
For a living.
It's just, what do you do, Mr. It's the same, Mr. Ramirez. What do you do?
What do you do?
What's your profession? Your occupation? I don't know.
Profession.
Yes.
Yes.
Or occupation.
Sería, ¿cómo se dice químico farmacéutico?
Chemical pharmaceutic.
Químico farmacéutico.
Pharmaceutic.
Yeah.
So you're a bachelor or engineer? Is it that bachelor degree or engineer? Bachelor degree?
I am listening.
Bachelor degree.
Bachelor, sí, I am
Okay,
bachelor.
a bachelor.
Sí.
Okay, well, there you have, right? Some example of what Mr. Peroso, some questions, okay? So now, please tell me, what do you remember about your classmates? You can give me maybe 1 or 2 sentences. It's not necessary to repeat everything, right? If you have a lot of information about your classmates, it's not necessary. Just maybe 1 or 2 in third person. Don't tell me the question. I need that you speak directly.
Okay. Coach, I remember about Carla Marcela.
Okay.
She works at James Hill. She lives in Santa Ana. Her favorite color is blue, and she don't like dance. She don't like sing.
She doesn't.
So she doesn't. She doesn't. Okay. She doesn't like dance, and she doesn't like sing.
Okay, and one more thing. She doesn't like to dance, or she doesn't like dancing. Okay, remember what I said before.
Like she doesn't like dancing. Okay.
You have 2 options, right? The one that you prefer. In that case, you have 2 options. With like, you have 2 options. Okay, don't forget those 2 little things, the little details. That's why we are practicing. That's what I always like, that you tell me, everybody, right, what your classmate says, because in that way we practice third person, that sometimes we forget to apply the rules, etc. Okay, but that's nice. You have a good information, Mr. Peroso. Okay, let's continue with the next person. Maybe if you remember 1 or 2 things, no problem, right? But tell me the information about one of your classmates.
Me.
Okay, excellent.
I interviewed to Mr. Peroso.
Okay.
And he said that he works at the airport and he's not Salvadorian.
Okay.
And he has 35 years old.
He is Miss Rodriguez.
Okay.
He's 35?
Third grade.
Okay. A
Years
child.
old.
A child like Mr. Ramirez, right? Similar, almost the same, Mr. Ramirez, right? A couple of years more.
Little different.
A little different. Okay. So
We are
thanks,
both, we are
uh,
both, we are
yes.
both last year.
Both Lightyear. Both Lightyear. Okay, thanks, Mr. Rodriguez. Any other thing?
He wants to go to Venezuela on vacation.
Okay. He wants
Mhm.
to go to Venezuela on vacation.
On vacation.
Okay. Okay.
That's it.
And where are you from, Mr.? Okay, thanks, Mr. Ramirez. I forgot it, excuse me. Where are you from, Mr. Peroso? From Venezuela?
I'm from Venezuela.
Ah, you're from Venezuela. That's why you want to go to Venezuela. Okay, I got it. Okay, next person.
Teacher, my partner is Isaac.
Okay, tell me about him.
He is live in Santa Tecla.
Okay, sorry to interrupt you. He lives. No is.
He's live.
No, just he
he's-
lives. He lives. No
He
is.
lives in Santa. No, he's live in Santa Tecla.
No, miss. Let's stop here. He's live or lives. No, this is not because the verb is live. No is, right? It's like when we said él está o él es vive. Make no sense. So in this case, it's the same. No his.
Okay. He lives in Santa Tecla.
Okay.
¿Cómo sería? His
Maybe.
favorite color is black and white.
Okay, in that case, are. His favorite colors are because you mentioned two. So we need the plural.
Okay, are. His favorite animal is lion.
Okay.
His name's mother is Silva.
His mother's name. Mother's name.
Okay.
Primero, ¿quién es la dueña? Mamá. So his mother's name.
Is Silva. His practice sport tennis table.
Okay, he practices sports. Okay, there we are. Thanks, Miss Amaya. Okay, don't forget those details. Okay, next person.
And me.
You, go ahead.
I has two partners. One, Mari Escalante. Your mother names Vero.
Okay, your mother's? No,
Your
my mother's name is not Vero. My sister's name is Vero. Okay, no, okay, don't say your. Don't say your because it's like you are telling me your. It's not your. Change that. It would be her.
Your mother.
No, no your, porque no está hablando de mí. Está hablando ahorita conmigo. Entonces es como que me esté diciendo el nombre de tu mamá es Vero. That's what I'm telling you. No, my sister's name is Vero. Okay, I'm kidding, lo estoy molestando, pero es que no tiene que decirme your porque es como que está hablando de mí. And you are talking about Carla, right?
Okay. Yes. Sí.
No, her.
Her mother is Vero.
Okay, her mother's name is Vero.
Okay. The favorite animals is a dog.
Okay, her. Always her because we are talking about
Her.
Carla.
Okay. Her favorite animal is dog.
Okay.
Okay. And other partner is Jose Mauricio. His favorite colors is
Favorite.
favorite is brown.
Okay.
Her working in San Salvador.
Okay. Her working, no, because her es cuando algo le pertenece a ella, como cuando le pertenece a Carla, right? And in this case, estamos hablando de una acción, entonces es he, no her. He works.
He works in San Salvador.
Okay, he works in San Salvador.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's it. Maybe I have 1 more minute if someone else wants to practice. Nobody else? Thanks, Mr. Ramirez. Thank you. Nobody else? No? Come on. Okay, well, next class, but it's necessary that you speak because you see, in this way, we do some mistakes that we can do the correction, right? El cerebro nos va a decir, ay, si aquella vez te dijeron que eso no era así. Ay, si aquella vez lo dijiste si no era así. So, but making the mistakes, we're gonna make the corrections in our brains. But if we don't speak, those mistakes will keep there, okay, inside. So it's necessary to do mistakes to make corrections. Yourself, right? You can do, not just me, but you. So I hope that the next time you practice, okay? Because I always like do this practice, that you tell me about someone else. So we practice everything, direct question and direct information and someone else information, because the structure changes, okay? Well, so that's it for today. Tomorrow we go with a new topic, okay? It will be past, simple past, and that's very interesting. Okay, very, very useful. So hope to see you tomorrow. Thanks for your attendance and for your participation. It's been a pleasure. Bye-bye. Take care.
Thanks.
Take care, my
Bye.
friends.
You
Good
too. Bye,
night.
Mr. Barrientos.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye,
Good
take care.
night.
Good night. Take care. You
Teacher.
too. Yes.
night.
Teacher,
Yes.
checklist.
Yeah,
Yes,
I already did it.
Gracias. Thank you.
Okay.
Good night.
Good night.
Excuse me, teacher.
Yes, sir.
Checklist, please.
I already did it, sir. Say it before the class, okay? En caso se me olvide, una vez díganmelo antes, no hasta el final, pero ahora sí, como estaban poquitos, sí los alcancé a notar cuando se unieron,
Okay.
pero a veces no noto cuando se unen, ¿ok?
Thank you.
Okay, anytime.
Thank you. Thank you. Good night,
Anytime.
teacher.
Good night, sir. Good night.